Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming on today's call. Got a great call for you today. We're going to be talking about the 6 innovative strategies to get more listings in 2025. I got some great content for you. Going to go through quickly through a lot of different things. Going to open up our playbook to you as to how to get more listings and what we're doing to get more listings over the last many years. We've been using some of the same content. But just over the last year is where we really started to put it out there amongst everyone around the country and different coaching clients around the country. And the great news about it is that it works everywhere, right? When people say it doesn't work in my market, I just laugh because I tell them, I say, listen, it works in Florida, it works in New Jersey, it works in Dallas, Texas, it works in Wisconsin, Calgary, even up in Canada. So this stuff works. The main thing is what you implement, what you execute on, right? So we're going to go over some of those different items. And why I wanted to do this is maybe about a month and a half ago, I did a listing boot camp for the local real estate agents here, not only here in the Capital District, but also down in Florida. And the feedback was really good. And the great thing about it is that I got to hear a lot of success stories from the people that we did last fall that pretty much follow the same guidance or the same strategies that we use here on this call. And it's just great to get that feedback. So I figured, I said, you know what, let me do it as a webinar. Let me get it out to more people that can't come to the live events. But then I also have something that's recorded for you to be able to watch the replay of it, right? So there's so many people say, geez, I missed it. Do you have a replay? And we just didn't have it. So that's why I wanted to do this today and get it out to everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and start by just kind of a little bit about my background. Some of you know who I am. Again, I'm not going to go through all these different bullet points on it, or you can read it on here, but I've been in the business 30 years here in the Capital District. We have about 130 agents or so, not only here in the Capital District, but also down in Florida, down in Naples, Florida, and Fort Myers area, Sarasota area on the West Coast. It's been a great industry to be in. I know that it ebbs and flows just like anything else, but real estate's been really good for myself, my family, and the employees, and also the agents that work for us. We get a ton of benefit from it, and we've had a lot of great success with just following simple principles, right? Going out there and getting what's working and bringing it back here. Something that I love doing, and I continue to do each and every year. Probably go out to about 8 or 10 conferences a year and able to pick up ideas and bring them back. So some of this stuff that you're going to see, I'm going to say it's more of a swipe and deploy. It's not that I just came up with this, but some of it is. Some of it we tweaked a little bit for our own liking, but bottom line is it gets results. And I only want to share things that either I've done or continue to do that I know that has success. I'm not going to be one of these people that just give you things and say, hey, try this, this is great, and I never did it myself. So just, that's the background on myself. And the big question that I have for everyone today is, how is your business going in 2025? And when I talk to agents that are doing really great things, right, they're having a great year in 2025, and I'll say, what are you doing? Like, I don't know, things are just going crazy, business is just great. Well, what are you doing, right? And they don't really know what got them to this point. But a lot of times I do, because a lot of times I've been coaching them, or they're agents of mine that I've been coaching over the years, and it's the activities that they've done, not only in the last 90 days, but the activity that they've done for years that they've been consistent about and executed on is why they're having success in a market that is, quote unquote, a down market, right? Sales are down, real estate market's not doing that great. Some of these agents are having their best year because of the systems and the foundation that they put in place early on. And then I talk to some agents that say, Willie, I'm not having a great year. I don't know what's going on. Things are going really good. 2021, 22, my business was great. And now ever since then, I've been declining. And I say, congratulations. That's what most people have done, right? 2021, listen, if you didn't have a great year in 2021 or 2022, you shouldn't be in the business, right? I tell people all the time. And I remember that year in 2021 when the business was, you guys remember, right after COVID, and when things were just taking off and everyone was just, putting stuff on Facebook and your phone was ringing off the hook and interest rates were, 2-3%, things are great, right? And I told people back then, I said, listen, this too shall pass. Don't think that this is how it's going to be forever. Make sure that you're saving money. Make sure you're paying off debt. Make sure you put money into reserves. make sure you're creating that marketing fund and keep that marketing going, because this will eventually stop. And it did. And it, unfortunately, it hurt a lot of people that I've seen out there with, not having the right money put aside for taxes, or they went out and bought big houses and fancy cars and overspent, and now their business is half what it was for that year. So not to be doom and gloom, but to be more realistic, right? And for those of you that know me, know that I'm a realist, and I just want to do what's right for people, and I want to make sure that they know and know what to expect in order to be successful in this business. So the question I always have is how you doing in business, and that's something that I think that a lot of you should really look at. But really, more importantly, you should look at your last 90 days, right? What was the activity that you had in your last 90 days? And that's the question that I ask people that are in a slump right now. I'll say to them, I said, give me, show me your calendar, show me your CRM, your database. How many calls were you making on a daily basis? How many posts were you doing on social media? How many mailers were you putting out there to your database and out to your geographic farms? And when I ask them that question, they're like, not much at all. I haven't really done anything. I'm not making calls. I'm not sending personal notes out. I'm not doing the things that I know I should be doing. And I tell them, I says, well, what you do today, even, right? Today is, middle of July here. What you do today is going to affect your business 90 days from now. So what you do today and the activities you do today is your paycheck come September and October. So if you're in July or in June and you haven't had a great year, it's usually because you fell asleep in the first half of the year, and now you're scrambling and you're trying to get your business back up and running. So the good news is that at the end of this webinar, I'm going to actually show you an actual 90-day plan that I've shared with a lot of people. Actually picked up a lot of these ideas from top agents across the country at a couple of masterminds that I've been at. So I'm going to actually give you the step-by-step 90-day plan at the end of this, and just a one-pager, nothing crazy, right? We don't have to be make things complicated. But what if I gave you a plan that was proven to be simple, right, and something that you follow, and that will give you the results that you need, right? That's all you have to do. Just follow that plan for 90 days, and you will be successful. And again, we cannot sometimes. I like to use the saying all the time is that you can't control your results, right? You can't control, if you want to make $200,000, I'm just going to go out there and I'm going to make 200,000 and just show up. You can't control results, but you can control the activities. And if you do the activities, the results will follow, right? So remember that activity is so important. So I want to make sure that you know what some of these activities are. We're going to go over them here at the end. All right, so the call today is 6 innovative strategies to get more listings in 2025. And if you see here on the screen, I show the a couple different ones that I want to go over today and go a little bit deeper on. First one is your database, right? And the reason why I did this is the number one is because this is the number one asset in your company. In other words, if you don't have a database, you don't have a business. And everyone should have and own their own database, right? And I put a post out there about a week or so ago about a lot of agents I've seen get hurt because they put all of their contacts and all their friends and all their families and all their clients into a database that they just don't own, right? Their broker owns it, or they have it, put into some type of Excel spreadsheet or something, and they're not putting the things in there. But the post that I did was about brokers, having brokers. It's great. When we do it ourselves at Miranda Real Estate Group, we have a database that we give to our agents that they can use. They don't have to pay any money for it. They get a website and they can put all their names into that database. But when they leave, we give them the names, right? We Excel or actually export into an Excel sheet the list of names and give it to them because we don't have them. Some companies are not like that. And when I was in Florida, I unfortunately saw a couple situations recently where in their actual independent agreement, it said that anything that's in that database now belongs to the team. And if you leave that team, you pretty much lose all that business. And anyone that actually buys a home, picture this, anyone that you put in that database and you leave, you still owe the team or the company a referral fee. Is that crazy? So again, they didn't know what they were signing, and but it's very common. So be careful of what you're signing. Make sure you have your own databases, and also make sure you have your own email addresses, because I've seen the same thing happen with that. You use a company email address, oh, it's professional and it looks great, But you don't own that either, right? And all your marketing material and all your business cards and all your stuff has that information on there, and it's totally gone if you leave, or if your broker leaves. Maybe your broker changes their mind. Maybe something happens in the brokerage and they have to dismantle, or they merge with a franchise, whatever that may be. You lose all that information. So again, when you are a real estate agent, you own a business. Remember that. You guys are business owners, you're entrepreneurs. You need to own your own data, your own database, and your own email address as well. So I'll get off that soapbox, but your database is the most important. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Number two, referral partners. Why is that important? There are certain people and vendors in our industry that when they go out there on a job, or the people that they meet, a lot of times it's ahead of them even talking to a real estate agent, right? And we're going to go over some of those different examples for you. Social media being number three here. Social media is a form of your database. And I didn't really realize that as much as I did this year. That, in years past, I always knew social media was important. And, I have a lot of people, I don't know, maybe 4,500 names on there of people that are friends of mine on Facebook. And I didn't realize the impact that social media has on businesses. And as I, again, tour around the country and talk to these different top agents, how they leverage their Facebook, how they leverage their Instagram, their YouTube pages. It's just amazing how much business they get from those sources, and it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And a lot of these ideas that I'm going to share with you today is free. They don't cost you anything, but you got to do your push-ups, right? You have to do the work in order to build this. So social media is going to be important. I'm just going to share a couple different things with you on that, what you can do with that. Home seller seminars, right? Just like I'm doing here, right? I'm on the call right now. I don't know, we have probably 30, 40 people that are on the call right now. And now I'm giving this presentation one-to-many versus one-to-one. And you could do the same thing with your market updates, with your home seller workshops. You could do a CMA for a client, or an actual seminar that you do as a home seller workshop or seminar. So I'm going to show you how to do that. We've had a lot of success with that as well. And I'll actually give you the plan on how to set that up. Geofarming. My good friend Justin Hawkins said, "What's old is gold," and geofarming has been around forever, right? And geographic farming and direct mail marketing still works, because there's a certain segment of the population that are not on Facebook, right? They're not on Instagram, they're not scrolling on social media, and they'll never see you, and you'll never see them, right? And you'll never do business with them. And I got to say, a lot of those contacts or prospects are really good prospects, and there's not a lot of competition a lot of times with them. They're a lot easier, I feel, sometimes than dealing with someone that's going to go and interview 4 or 5 agents. So I'm going to share with you a couple of direct marketing pieces that we're using, some of my coaching members are using, and getting some great results with. So that's geographic farming and direct mail marketing. And then the last one on here is paid online seller leads, right? We'll go over some different websites with that. I mean, again, most of these are, you don't have to pay anything for them. You just gotta, again, do your push-ups on it and work at them. But there are some online sources that you can actually pay for leads, and a lot of those leads actually have listings that they need to sell, okay? So let's talk about number one. Number one, like I said, is your biggest asset in your business, and that's gonna be your database. And the goal here is to really, just put this here, is to really lock in on your database, because if I'm telling you that your biggest asset is your database, then that should be the number one thing that you're working on every day, right? Just like brushing your teeth, right? Everyone hopefully brushes their teeth every day. You want to make sure that you're in that database each and every day, right? And the goal that we usually have for a lot of our agents when they come on board, or when I'm dealing with the coach, not dealing with, but when I'm coaching members, a lot of times I'm telling them, hey, let's get to that first 300 names that we can, right? Start with 100, that's easy to get to usually, but 300 is really the sweet spot. When you get to that 300 mark, that's where it really starts to get really interactive and engaging with your clients, and you actually start seeing some business coming from that. Some agents will tell me, well, Willie, I don't know 300 people, or I don't know 100 people. And then I'll go onto their Facebook and I'll see they have 1,000 friends, right? Like, you do, but you just don't think that these are people that are viable enough or see you as a professional in real estate. But anyone that you know, family, friends, I have the list right on here. Anyone that's, take a look at your cell phone. Look at all the contacts in your cell phone that you have. Your social media, I already mentioned, your Instagram, YouTube, online leads, open houses that you went to, clients that you had in the past. We have a list that we have of, we call it the, Get 100 list, and it has all of these different, people that you write checks to, your dentist, your attorney, all these different people that should be in your database. If they know your name or you're paying the money, they should be in your database. And again, people do business who they know, like, and trust. So the more information that you're sending to them, the more educating content that you're sending out to them, the more they're going to see you two different ways. They're going to know your competence as a real estate agent, and they're going to know your character, right? They're going to know that you're a good person and that you relate to them, and they'll want to do business with you because they know you, right? But here are some of the different things that we really recommend on that database. What do you do when you have that database? Here's a couple ideas. Weekly emails, right? The agents that are doing weekly emails are having much more success than the agents that just wing it, right? And what I mean by that is that every week, you pick a day of the week, whether it be Wednesday at 6 a.m., Tuesday at 7 a.m., Friday at 2, I don't care what day it is. But if you have a weekly cadence of sending that email every week out to them, you want to send them something of value. And I'm going to show you some examples of some of those in just a minute, of some of those weekly emails that some of our agents are sending out. And the reason for that is that you want to stay top of mind with that database, right? Think about your family, your friends. They don't know what you do each and every day, but when you start sending them a weekly email and you're sending them links to properties that they can go on and view, you're giving them information on what's going on in the market. You're sharing with them stats. You're sharing with them things that you're doing on a personal level, right? A lot of agents forget to put that in there. And I'm like, guys, this is why reality TV is so popular, is because so many people want to know what you're doing, right? And you guys, if you're following me on social media, you'll see over the last 6 or 8 weeks now, I'm going to share with you some stats on here of me upping my game a little bit on the social media. The ones that get the highest likes and comments and engagement and views are the ones that are personal, right? The business ones are like, yeah, local stats, that's great. Mortgage rates, that's okay. But if I'm taking a video of my wife, cleaning the pool, or putting a sign up or something, that the views go nuts on that, right? Anything that's personal does definitely do a lot better. Well, let's talk about the weekly emails and go back to that. Weekly emails. Here are some different examples. Deal of the week, right? A deal of the week is something that you put out there. Maybe put a price. Maybe you say have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch on 2 acres in a certain town, right? You can put out there, or in a certain county. And here's the price of this property. And for more information, give me a call, right? So you put all the features of that property. The only thing you're leaving out is the address. And sometimes people even leave the price out, but they're leaving the address out. And they do that on purpose because they send it out, and on the bottom line says, if you would like more information and detailed information on it, reply back to this email and I'll get that to you. So now you could send this out to 200-300 people, especially if you have people that you're getting from open houses and from Zillow and from realtor.com, and all those people you're staying in contact with. They may want to know that information. They're going to reply back to you. That's how you take that list in your database and you get them replying and engaging to your content. So deal of the week is a great email that goes out. You can put it on YouTube too. This is not anything that's something that I created. It's something that I actually copied from other people. And if you go to YouTube and just type in deal of the week email for realtors, I'm sure there's 10 different coaches out there or agents talking about it, right? And they'll give you examples of what works for them. Number 2, market updates. Everyone wants to know what's going on in the marketplace, right? For most homeowners, it's their biggest asset. So market updates do very, very well. I would prefer doing videos of the market update. Do that once a month. And again, this is not something that's going out every week. I'm giving you ideas of what you can send out on a weekly basis. So 1 week, deal of the week. The next week, it's market updates. The week after that, restaurant reviews. People love restaurant reviews. For the most part, people are foodies, right? Most people love to eat. I know I love to eat, and my friends and family, they love to eat. So when I post stuff, even on social media, those are very high in engagement. When I put a restaurant that, Sherry and I went to, or, I put something of, I stopped by, got ice cream at Hayner's the other night. The responses are so much greater than just doing a business post on a just listed or just sold property, right? So restaurant reviews are very, very popular in your weekly emails, but also social media. And again, you notice I'm talking about two different things here, social media and your database, but they go hand in hand, right? So I'm going to talk a little bit about that as well. Your community business spotlight, taking different businesses that are out there. Maybe it's the restaurant review that you do. Maybe it's someone that, one day I was out in Florida and my barber was down there and we got talking and he was saying something about social media and how, he sees a lot of our posts and everything else. And I said, yeah, let me show you how it works. And I just took a picture of him cutting my hair and put it up there and tagged him and gave him a shout out, right, for a business spotlight. And the next time I went to get my hair cut, he's like, I can't tell you how many people commented on that and actually got back to me. And a couple of people came in from your actual neighborhood because they saw your post that you're friends with and they came in and got a haircut. So it works, right? And it helps each other out. But the law of reciprocity also kicks in there too, where here I'm helping him promote his business. And hopefully he's going to obviously turn around and help me promote my business, right? When people are talking about real estate, you can say, hey, I have a great real estate person for you to talk to. Local events, people love local events. So if there's fireworks going on, talk about it. If there's a parade going on, talk about it. Anything that's a local event in your town, you want to be the hub for that information. You want to be the mayor of your community, and you want people to know for who you are. And you might say, well, geez, that doesn't have anything to do with real estate. It doesn't have to be, right? You want to spread that out a little bit. So you have a little bit of personal, you have a little bit of business, and then you do some testimonials and then some, obviously some local events and recognition out there. The last one on here, I talked about, well, there's a couple more on there. Client testimonials are very important. People like to know that you're successful in real estate. And sometimes, especially for a new agent, you have to kind of fake it until you make it type of thing, right? So I tell the newer agents, I said, you know what, if you don't have any testimonials or anything like that, then use some of the company testimonials, right? Our company did this or our company did that, and use some of those stats and some of those testimonials to help you. But for the average agent, you guys are getting in front of a lot of people and you do a great job selling real estate, but you're not getting the testimonials. And I will tell you, it's like a weekly thing now. I hear of different agents saying, hey, I got this listing because they went and saw my testimonials. They went and saw my Google reviews. And they went to the other agent and that agent didn't have any, or the agent had maybe 2 or 3, where this agent had maybe 50 or 60 of them or 100 of them, right? So client testimonials, Google reviews, those work very, very well. Newsletters. I was actually in the office today, and actually I'll show you guys. In a geographic forum, we sent out newsletters. Well, this one happened to come back, return to sender today. But when I went in there and I said, because we do send out different letters, I noticed my newsletter was in there, right? So I'm going to give you a copy of actually my wife's newsletter, which is pretty much the same template. It's on this presentation, but on there it has great information on what's going on in the marketplace. It's got stuff, recipes, and different things on there. It has, what I'm doing for the month. There's a column there, what's up with Willie, you guys can see that. And it kind of tells them what I did my month, and then it talks about, some different photos, some different travel things that I have. Here's some stats of what's going on in the marketplace, right? So this is, like, if I had to get rid of all of my marketing, this would be the last thing I would get rid of right here. And when I was in personal production, more on a regular basis, and that was my primary income, that went out every month, right? Every month, non-negotiable. That went on every month, got in mailboxes. It got mailed out every month. Then I started doing mailer and emails that I was sending out. And now I just do it every quarter just to stay relevant. And I want to show my agents, again, I'm not going to do something and tell you to do something that I'm not doing myself, right? So there's proof that just went out, and it goes out every quarter. And every time we send it out, it engages my clientele and it engages people that I've done business with in the past to reach out to me for one reason or another. So newsletters work very well. And then the last one on here was the annual follow-up calls with an RPR. RPR is the Realtor Property Resource that I'm going to share with you. But the concept of that, and kind of going back to the camera here, is that the concept of making sure that you're reaching out to your clients on an annual basis, right? And their home is their biggest asset. So when you think about, your investment advisor, if you guys have one, or, maybe you have a 401k, or you have you know, some mutual funds or whatever. You know, you get statements, right? Whether every month they come in or every quarter they come in. But you want to look at that, right? You open it, just see what the value is, and then you kind of stuff it away somewhere, right? And that's because that's your investment, and you want to see that investment grow. Well, a lot of times for most people, their home is their biggest investment. But there's no one out there really telling them what their home is worth other than who? Zillow. And that's information that's wrong, right? The Zillow, it's, I don't know, 87% of the time wrong. It could be 100,000 in any direction, but people swear by Zillow. Why? Because it's the only tool that they have to actually see what their property value is, right? I'm sure there's other ones, Realtor.com, and you know, other ones that are out there, but the Zillow estimate by far is the most popular, I feel, when you're talking to sellers and you say, well, what do you think your home is worth? Well, Zillow says it's this, or Zillow says it's that. And, you know, sometimes they're accurate or, you know, within range, but a lot of times they're not, right? And it could be 100,000 either way. So by you actually reaching out to your database once a year, maybe it's the month anniversary, maybe it's whatever you want to do. I think month anniversary is great, right? You could say, hey, 5 years ago, you bought this house in the month of June. I'm just calling you to see if you want to get an update on the value. So I'll share with you the actual script that you can use with that in just a second. So that's your database. And in that database, you want to make sure that, you know, I have people all the time says, well, Willie, you know, you said to own your own database. What's the best database? And I always say the best database is the one that you're going to use every day, the one that you're actually going to be going into it and using. If it's too complicated, or if it's your company website that they force on you and you don't want to use it, then you're not going to use it, right? It's worth nothing to you. But if I'm telling you that your best asset and your biggest asset in your business is your database, you have to have your own. So here's a couple of them on here that you can go to. So you can go to Wise Agent is one of them, right? Wise Agent is a great one, very inexpensive, very easy to use. Realty Juggler, you can look that up. They do a great job for under $200 a year. You can get a Realty Juggler account. Follow Up Boss, that's the one that I use. We call it FUB. Follow Up Boss, you can text from it, you can email from it, you can do unlimited notes, you can assign action plans to it. A Wise Agent, Realty Juggler do some of that as well, but Follow Up Boss, you know, it just seems to have a little bit more bells and whistles for what I need for my business, so I use that. Brian Buffini, you know, if you go to buffiniandcompany.com or Brian Buffini, you can look them up on that line, or just type in Buffini Referral Maker. They have a great CRM, easy to use, and again, you could track your sales on there. You could track your you know, prior sales on there. They'll actually give you a website that you can put all unlimited notes. But when you have your CRM, and then Top Producer is the last one on here. But when you have a CRM and when you have contacts, you want four things. You want the person's name, you want their email address, you want their phone number, and then you want their mailing address in that order. And that's the information that you want to be putting into that CRM. And then once you have that, obviously you want to make sure that you sort and qualify that database properly. And I'm going to show you that in just a second on how to do that. All right, so those are the CRMs that we recommend. Here are some examples of weekly emails. I know it's kind of small. And again, you can take a picture of this if you want. But here's Bobby Belber down in Florida. She does a great job with her emails, setting them out. She has a list of those links right there you can't really see, but on it, it'll say, you know, homes from up to 500,000, and then 500,000 to a million, and then a million plus. And then she'll put on there just listed or just sold. And then over here, you'll see Ann Karen. She's got newsletter that she puts out recipes, and she'll put different things about different community events and stuff like that. And then over here to the right, we have Nikki Davies. She's down in Florida. She's in her second full year of real estate, doing very well. She's up over $15 million this year. And a lot of it she attributes to communicating with her database. The people she meets, automatically she's getting their name and email address, and they're going on her weekly email, and she's sending them client testimonials. She's sending them restaurant reviews. Every week she goes out, eats at a restaurant, takes pictures of it, sends it, say, hey, I ate here, I ate there, and she'll be candid with them. Like this one was okay, right? This one was really, really good. I love it. People love it because now when they go down to Florida and they go down to Naples, they make a list based on Nikki's emails of where they want to go. And they'll actually tell, hey, thanks for the referral on this. Thanks for sending me here, or even local events I know that she has in there. But those are, and she has the links on there too of the different homes that are available, okay? But that's going out every week, non-negotiable. And I could tell you that I know Bobby and Ann do a great job getting it out there consistently. And I know I was talking to Nikki the other day, she hasn't missed one in 2 years. Every week it goes out. Okay, in your CRM, this is very important. In your CRM, you don't want to just throw in 300, 400, 500 people into your database. And then it's just a big mess in there. You want to sort and qualify these people. So I'll start from the bottom and work my way up, because the goal is to make them kind of work their way up the ranks here, if you would, right? So D client, these are people that you don't really want to work with, but they're leads, maybe you close, or a client, like, you know what, that person was so difficult to work with. I don't ever want to do business with them again. Hopefully you don't have a lot of those, but hey, we all have them, right? So those are classified as a D client. You don't want to waste money on mailing to them, those type of things. Do not call list, the whole bit, right? So tag them as a D client in your database. And these are tags in your CRM. A C client, these are prospects that have not referred or done business with you yet, but they're new leads, right? These are your internet leads, your realtor.com leads, your Zillow leads, your OpCity leads, your open house leads. These are all people that you just picked up their name and number, maybe at a home seller workshop, or at an event networking somewhere. You get them into your database right away. You don't want to lose that database and put a future follow-up on that database, so you don't lose the follow-up to that database, to that contact. So they go in as a C client, but the goal is to get that C client to a B client. And how does that happen? That happens from you having a conversation with that C client to say, hey, it's the whole Brian Buffini script, if you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like Brian Buffini has this mayor campaign, and the mayor campaign is pretty much, hey, George, if you were looking to buy or sell real estate, or had a friend or family member who does, do you have a real estate agent that you're referring to, right? And that's kind of the mayor campaign that Brian talks about. And a lot of times I say, no, I don't have a real estate agent, and I would use you. Okay, great. From time to time, I come across great information on the real estate market and different things that are going on in the community. And I'd love to add you to my weekly email list. What's a good email that I could send it to? So that's where you're starting to capture their information and get them into your database. Once that happens, now they become what's called a B client. The B client said that they're not working with any other agent, and they would work with you or send you a referral if they knew of someone looking to buy or sell. So that's a B client. Now that B client, the goal is to get them to an A client, to get that referral from them, or to actually have them buy or sell a home with you. Once they do that, then they're going to be categorized as an A client. And then your VIP clients, these are your biggest fans, right? These are the people that at any given time you could swing by their house and they're like, hey, come on in, Willie, have lunch, pull up a seat, you want a drink, whatever, right? Like, these are people that love you the most, your biggest raving fans. Those are your VIP clients. But in your category, in your database, in that CRM, you have to make sure that at a minimum, you have these 5 tags in there. And then if you want other tags for different sources or where they came from, realtor.com, open house, and all that, you can have those tags too. But at a minimum, you want to have them segmented this way, right? Here's an example of a deal of the week. And this is from a good friend of mine. Actually, I just got his deal of the week email yesterday. And he does a great job with this, Galen Tromley out of Plattsburgh. And every week he sends a deal of the week out to his a couple thousand people database, and he gets 12, 15 responses every week. People saying, hey, I want to give more information. What's the address on that? Hey, I'm looking for this if you know of that, right? Those type of things. It gets engagement within his database. But this is the copy of it, right? Incredible views of Lake Champlain, Vermont. Asking price $360, just reduced. And here's 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, square footage, a couple highlights. And then here's the CTA, right? The call to action. If you're interested, just reply and I'll get you the details. All the best, Galen. And he sends it out. Doesn't think about it, just sends it out every week, gets responses back, makes a lot of sales from this one little deal of the week email that he's sending out to his database. Not only his database of clients, but also his database of prospects, right? People that he has in his prospect list. So deal of the week. I mentioned to you my newsletter here, my template. Sherry has the same one, my wife, and she sends this out. This one she sent out Q2 of 25. And basically, again, what's up with Sherry, or the Sherry Scoop, talks a little about things that she did with, with her family and things that are going on. She puts some pictures of what's going on down below. Again, some stats, recipe, testimonial, just some basic things that people, again, it's like the brag letter you get at Christmas from family members that everyone hates, right? But again, Think about this. If you're going to be in real estate, and this is something that was told to me a long time ago, and I'm going to say it to you because I think it's worth me saying right now. If you're going to be in real estate, consider yourself and know that in order for you to be successful, you have to understand and realize that you are a public figure, right? Put the little blue check by your name. You're a public figure. So anything that you do on social media, anything that you're putting out there into the general public, you have to think about, is this attracting buyers and sellers and business to me? Or is this repelling business to me, right? And that's why I tell agents all the time that it's a kiss of death when you start putting your political views on it, right? A lot of that's been happening over the last few years. And people have said to me, yeah, this person's this way or that person's that way. And they said they didn't want to do business with me because I wasn't in the same affiliate party or religion, right? That type of thing. So be careful in what you put on social media. Be careful in what you're putting out there. Don't put any type of victim messaging or anything like that that's going to affect you. Make sure that you understand that you are a business, you're running a business, and you have to make sure that you're attracting people to you and not repelling them. So, like for my wife, Sherry, she would say the same thing, very private person. She doesn't do a lot of posting. So this sometimes a little bit hard for her to share these things, but she does it because she knows that, it's just part of business. Now that she's a real estate agent, retiring, teaching after 30 years, and every time she sends this out to her list, she gets the phone starts ringing, 4, 5, 6 phone calls, and she does very well with it. But again, this is just one example of hers, but we have dozens of people using newsletters like this and getting great results from it, okay? So this is another thing that you can send out to your database. Here's your home value call. I know it's a little hard to read the blue print there. Maybe you can take a picture of it and zoom in on it, but this is you just reaching out to your clients every year and just saying, hey, I just want to reach out to you. I just want to give you a quick call. I know it's been 5 years since we sold you your home, and from time to time, I like to update my clients on what their home is worth, and I wanted to see if you were interested in a free home value report that I can mail out to you. 99% of the time, the answer is yes. Okay, great. Love to send it out to you. Let me make sure I have your current email address because sometimes those change. Again, you're updating your database. You're doing a great customer service for your clients, and you're getting the information prepared to give them what's here on the right, or on the right is RPR report. Nice little 12-page mini RPR report that if you want, you could email it to them. So it doesn't cost you any money to do that. Or what you can do is you can print it out and mail it to them so that they have it. But on here too, I also ask, one last thing, do you know of anyone else that'd be interested in receiving the same report? And a lot of times they say no, I don't really know anyone or whatever, but sometimes they'll say, when you say that, do you know of anyone else that would be interested in getting this report? Maybe someone that's looking to sell their home here in the next year or so. Oh yeah, my neighbor is looking to sell, he's going to be relocating. Or, my daughter is looking to buy another home, so she might be interested in something like this. So that's what triggers that, but you'll never get those swings at the plate if you don't make those phone calls and do these follow-up calls, right? So I spent a lot of time on the database piece because it's so important that you guys follow this. So home value calls work very well. Client events work very well. This is something that I know a lot of you have seen us talk about in the past. These are Thanksgiving pies. I think we gave out like 800 this past year, and people love it. People love it. It's inexpensive, $8, $10 a pie, whatever it costs. There's Agent Brenda and Mark Darnelli doing one at a local bar restaurant in their town, and you could see by the number of pies, a lot of people come and pick them up, and she'll give them a drink ticket. They'll get 10% off on any food that they order from the owner, and it's a nice little venue on a Sunday before Thanksgiving. People come and pick that up. The pies we give out here in the office Tuesday before Thanksgiving, so they come by and pick them up here. But those client events, and there's a lot of different client events. Here's Lucy Sakaris doing one where she had an actual brew pub that she invited her clients to. I think she had 50 or 60 people show up to that. Christine Serafini in the right. There was a movie that came out, so down in Schenectady, I think it was the Bowtie Theater. My brother Brian and I went to visit, and just she had like 200 people there. It was ridiculous, right? It was crazy. And they all loved it. And they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you're doing this. And people wonder, like, well, how is Lucy doing great business? Why is why is Brenda and Mark doing great business? Why is Christine doing great business? Because they're doing these things. They're engaging with their client database, and they do also send out weekly emails and postcards and do these events for their clients in order to build their business. All right, let's move to the next category. So that's number one. That was a lot of time, right, spent on number one. But number two is talking about referral partners. These will go a little bit quicker as we go through. But referral partners are professionals that work in different industries, that work with clients that need to buy or sell, right? They need to buy or sell a property. So let's go through a couple of those. Divorce attorneys, why is that important? Divorce attorneys, let's face it, right? It's one of the 5 Ds of real estate. Divorce. People get divorced. They have a house to sell. Now they have to buy a house, maybe 2 houses because both, partners need a home. It could be 3 sales for you, right? But having that referral from a divorce attorney to you as someone that specializes in working with people that are divorced and know how to communicate well with them and can get the job done, you're going to get those referrals. So those people should be in your database and people that you're actually leaning into a little bit, maybe having some coffee with them, show them how you work, maybe show them a listing presentation, those type of things, and get them on your newsletter because every week you want to be top of mind with divorce attorneys. Estate and probate attorneys, kind of the same thing, right? But these are very important people to be in front of. Financial planners, right? A lot of times they're going through and they're empty nesters and they're like, you know what, let's just sell the house, we'll downsize, we'll get a condo, we'll go buy a second home somewhere. And financial planners are the first ones to know about that before a real estate agent's even contacted. So it's really great to be in front of financial planners, certified public accountants, CPAs, insurance agents, right? A lot of times they know about it. Nursing home and assisted living sales managers. This one's a big one. I probably get at least a dozen listings that I've got from 2 different individuals that run nursing homes that are in part of that because they're the front lines. So when people come in and now mom's going into the nursing home, okay, great, well, we got to get the house sold, right? And the kid's from out of town, the mother's here by herself. The first question they ask is, do you have a real estate agent to help you? And a lot of times like, no, we don't know anyone. Okay, great, call this person. So they're really good contacts for you to have in your database. Painters, right? A lot of times people want to get their home cleaned up. They want to get it painted first before they put it on the market. A lot of times painters I've gotten a couple great leads from them. It's not on here, but also carpet cleaners, painters and carpet cleaners. Got a few leads from a couple of carpet cleaners of people that they went to go clean the carpets because they were going to put it on the home or put the home on the market. Mortgage lenders, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes mortgage lenders know of people that are refinancing or saying, I'm going to sell my home. They want a bridge loan, that type of thing. Maybe they have a home that needs to get sold. Junk removal, this is a big one. People that go in, right? They want to declutter their home and clean out their garage and clean out their basement. And the junk removal people show up and start taking this stuff out. And in conversation, yeah, we're getting ready to move here in the next 3 months or 6 months, and we got to get rid of this stuff. Okay, do you have a real estate agent to help you? Right? We have to train these people. We have to train these referral partners on whether or not they know of someone and they actually have that conversation with them prior to them getting the lead to us, right? And then the last one on there is estate sales or senior on the move type consultants. These are people that, again, there's a huge need for elderly people when they're getting ready to move. If they don't have any help and they don't have any kids, how are they going to pack up with their old house that they lived in for the last 40 or 50 years? So estate sales or these senior on the move consultants know of these situations where they come in and their job is to get rid of all their stuff, right? They're either going to sell it or they're going to put it to charity, or they're going to take it with them to their next location, or they're just going to trash it. But either way, estate sale and senior on the move consultants are very, very important. All right, so there's your top 10 list. And these are the people that should be in your database. Take a picture of it. Make sure that you go deep with these people, meet them, and maybe you get a few of them in each category, right? If you can get, 2 in each category, I mean, there's 20 potential referral sources to you that you're going to get, especially your own mortgage lender or your own insurance agent or your CPA. You definitely want to get in front of those people. All right, if you have any questions at all, feel free to go ahead and put them in the chat box. And at the end, I'll stay on as long as we need to answer any questions that you may have. but I want to make sure that you know, we go a little bit deeper on all these different things today, and then you can ask me any questions that you have. All right, number 3, social media, being omnipresent. And that was the big theme of the event that I went to in Louisiana, Mastermind, a couple months ago, where they talked about, are you omnipresent? And what that means is that when you're talking to people, do they say, or do you hear from different people like, wow, you know, Bob, Susie, I see you everywhere, right? You're on Facebook, you're on this, you're on that. A lot of times they think they see you on billboards, or, you know, they hear you on the radio, whatever, but it doesn't matter. Like, being on social media, being on YouTube, being on TikTok, being on all those channels, people just perceive you as being omnipresent, right? You're everywhere. LinkedIn, right? That's another one that's not used a lot. And this is why you want to make sure you're on these websites or these social media platforms. First one's being Facebook. Whether you like Facebook or don't, most people are on Facebook, and usually all different age brackets on Facebook, right? You need to be on Facebook. Facebook should be your main platform that you're posting onto, and then Instagram and those other ones, TikTok or whatever, you can do that as well. But Facebook should be your mainstay, because that's where the majority of people are in all age brackets, young and older. Instagram, a lot of people love Instagram. I love Instagram as well. A lot of times you could post something on Facebook like I do, and it automatically posts over to Instagram. You could do that, so it kind of saves you a little bit of time. But Instagram is definitely one that you want to make sure that you're on. TikTok, I was always beating up on TikTok, and you have to use TikTok in a certain way still. And this is also validated by the people that I talk to that are experts in social media, is that with TikTok, it should be more informational based, right? Janelle Gumani does a great job. She's one of the better people locally that I've seen use TikTok, and she gets a ton of business. She's with Miranda Real Estate Group. You can look her up, Janelle Gumani, and she gets a lot of business from TikTok. And all she's doing is just, hey, I'm out in front of 123 Main Street. This is a beautiful 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in a nice cul-de-sac in a great school district. And if you're interested in this, you know, come take a look, right? And she'll put the information on the actual details of that. But she's just doing a quick video. Sometimes she'll do a video in the house, but a lot of times just in front of it. And that's she's just talking about it, right? She's not doing any of these, you know, dance moves and, you know, these power thrusts, you know, things that, you know, she's not doing any of that type of stuff, or these big jokes. She's just educating the public on real estate, and she's using that platform to do so, and she gets a lot of business from it. YouTube Shorts, right? YouTube Shorts is another one, great one. Again, very similar to whatever you're going to do on TikTok, you could do on YouTube Shorts as well. And then LinkedIn. A lot of people don't look as LinkedIn as a valid platform, but it really is. LinkedIn is more of a business platform. Again, you don't want to be posting a lot of personal things on there, but you definitely want to be posting your successes, your testimonials, any testimonial videos that you have, anything related to business, your community spotlights that you put out there, or any type of accolades that you give out to restaurants and stuff like that. Put that on LinkedIn, because again, it's not real estate, but people already know you're in real estate, right? You don't need to be 100% real estate, but you want to show, again, people that, you know, you're out there helping the community as well. But LinkedIn's a great resource for you. All right, let me share with you something on here. I think I mentioned to you already. I share with you that I would only do maybe 1 or 2 posts a week, if that. Sometimes I go 2-3 weeks without a post. Again, not in personal production. Was one of those type of people that, you know, I just looked at it as, you know, I don't want to waste time on social media, right? You guys ever feel that way? I don't want to be on there all the time just looking on social media. And then you get kind of in this, you know, this vortex of going on and looking and swiping and everything else. So, but at this meeting, they said, you know, think of social media as a money-making activity, but you're only going to block in a half hour a day. Just block in a half hour a day, an hour tops. But if you do it right, your social media platforms will be a huge moneymaker for you if you do it correctly. So my ears perked up a little bit. I said, okay, those are the different, you know, the LinkedIn and YouTube Shorts and the Instagram and the Facebook being number one. And they said, here's what you want to do. You want to make, in your photo album, you want to break it up into 3 things. One, you want to put on there photos of family, friends, personal photos. So you want to make a personal album. The second one you want to do is you want to do more of a business, right? Different thing, maybe at a restaurant, or maybe it was a testimonial with a client, anything like that. You want to make another album with that. And then the third one could be quotes, inspirational quotes, or different things that a quote that you may like that inspire you that day, something that's inspiring, or a story maybe on a situation where, like Marissa Malteri just did one the other day about meeting with a buyer client and having a buyer consultation, and how these people just, were out there putting verbal offers in and losing offers. They just didn't know the process. So she sat down with them and gave them a free home buyer evaluation, right, or consultation, and now they know the process, and now they're out going to buy a home, and they know what they need to do to buy that to be successful now when buying a home. Like, put that type of stuff on there, but you put it in those 3 buckets, right? You put it in those 3 buckets. So I started doing that about a month ago, and as a result of that, my views just started increasing, my engagement started increasing. And it went up pretty significantly. And I'm going to show you and share with you just from today. I took a snapshot 8:30 this morning to show you that over the last 28 days, you can see I had 196,000 views on my post. Now, in 2 months ago, before I did it, I would have maybe 15,000 views in the last 28 days, right? But here I had 196,000 over the last 28 days, because again, a couple weeks into last month too, I was already doing this from this event. But you can see it actually spike up, right? And you can actually see it go up and down. You can see it where it's spiked up. You can see my engagement up 16,000 people in my engagement, 11% up from prior. Net followers, in the last couple of months, I've added probably another 300 people that have come onto my website now, or onto my Facebook, and have friended me, or that I have reached out to and made friends with. And they said, when you look at your avatar, who your avatar is. For me, my avatar is a real estate agents. I want to help real estate agents, right? That's my goal. That's my vision. I love doing these type of events, free events that we do. We have a big event coming up in January. Again, our Real Estate Success Summit, which will be another great event for local real estate agents. So that's really like, I'm at that stage of my career now that I'm educating to attract, right? And some people will stay where they are and they'll get great information, and that's great. And there'll be other people that say, I'm not getting any of this information, I'd like to get more. And they, talk to us about Miranda Real Estate Group, whatever, it's fine. I don't care, it doesn't matter. Either to get the information and use it, or they want more information and want more accountability, and they come here and we help them. But my point with that is that my avatar is real estate agents, and that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about, is that you have to make sure that you're liking and requesting friend requests every day to people out of your avatar. So remember those professional vendors that I said? You should be going into Facebook and friending all of them. They're on Facebook, usually are, right? They're on LinkedIn. Go and make those connections on LinkedIn with them. But people that you want to make sure that you friend them. And then delete people that you just like, this person will never be a client of mine. For some real estate agents, they say other real estate agents they don't want, and they delete them. That's fine, do that. But my point is this, that you want to use social media as your database, and you want to use it as a money-making activity for yourself, okay? So there's a view of that, and I wanted to share that with you. And I just told you, right, like creating a piece of content every week, so important. So deal of the week, that could be a content that you put on social media. I told you email. But again, only so many people are going to open up your email. Put it out on social media. Put it a buyer tip, a seller tip. At the end of this, I'm going to give you 52 weeks of video ideas and topics that you can actually do of what buyers and sellers are looking for that works best for them, that you can actually do videos on, or just write contact with. They have ChatGPT now. If you don't know what to say, just put that actual headline, say, write me a post with this as the topic, and give me a short post for buyers and sellers, and I'll just spit it out for you, and you can put it on that. It's really easy. There's no excuse why you guys shouldn't be doing this. Restaurant reviews, right? Going out there, we talked about that. That should be on social media. People love that. Market updates, community spotlights, right? These are things that you say, well, geez, this sounds familiar. It's the same stuff that you're emailing, you're putting on social media. Because with social media, even though I have 4,500 friends, only 10%, because of the algorithm the way it is, only about 10% are seeing it, right? Only 10%, if they're not engaging, they're not liking your stuff, Facebook says, well, geez, they must not be interested, so we're not going to put Willie's new post in front of them. So they're not going to get it unless you boost and do the other stuff that's on your business page. But that's why email is so important, because if they don't see you on social media, you want to make sure that you're getting that email out to them. Local events, client testimonials, and then tell them a story. Right? Tell them a story, like I was just telling you about with Marissa, great storyteller, and was able to let people through the journey or through the actual the funnel of what it takes to buy or sell a home. So those are things that you should be putting on social media. These are just some different things on here, you know, some different testimonials that are out there. You could put them in a nice, pretty Canva post if you want. You could talk about, here was a client that we had. So I just did a testimonial, right? We got a great testimonial. And I talked a little about, you know, when I met these people, and, you know, 10 years ago, they were referred to us. He passed away. We stayed in touch, that type of stuff. People love to see that. And we have so much more engagement with that than just putting, oh, I just sold a house, just sold. Great, right? But when you tell a story, stories sell. The community business spotlights, you know, going out there and doing a post. Christine Serafini did a great job with the 21-day fix challenge that she put on about a month and a half ago. And one of the challenges was to go out there and do a community spotlight, go out there and post about a business. So Pam Viscusi, one of our agents, went ahead and did that with a local business, is PD Brothers. And this was an older post. This is from a screenshot from about a month ago. So I'm sure there's more likes and comments on here. But what happened is that Pam put it out there. She got some likes and some engagements, but the owner of the company also shared it. And then it really took off, right? And you can see when that owner shared it, she had 87 likes, all kinds of comments, 7 shares. And the next time when Pam went back into that business, you know, she said, thank you so much for doing that for me. I can't believe all the nice things that people said about us in our business, right? So again, it's just little things like that that is going to tie you into your community and promote you in your community. It's not just a real estate agent, but again, someone that's more of a hub to that community, okay? So Billy's Barbershop, I always give this example, is my favorite one. Went to the same barber for 15 years. Never got a referral from her. You know, she said she knew like 20 different realtors that she cut hair for. Her cousin was a real estate agent. So I just never bothered, never asked. And then when I heard about this community spotlight at a mastermind event, I said, I'm going to start doing that in my community. If you want to see some of these, and if you want to see the one that Billy has there, go to YouTube and just type in Willie Miranda and go to community spotlights. And I have probably 6 or 7 of them that are on there. And so anyway, the story goes that, you know, I said, I showed her a video from a barbershop in Connecticut. I said, I want to do this for you. Are you interested? She goes, yeah. How much, you know, how much is it going to cost me? I goes, it's not going to cost you anything, but I'm doing these community spotlights. Want to feature you first? She said, great. So we went ahead and did that. And I did the spotlight, did everything. And it was just really me just saying, hey, I'm here with Billy at Billy's Barbershop. And let me have her tell you a little about our company. And then she went and took it over from there. I had a professional photographer do it, or videographer. And it did it. 3 weeks later, it got posted. She had like 16,000 views. She had hundreds and hundreds of comments. I think she went actually over 1,000 comments. And I remember the next time I went back into her barbershop to get my hair cut, she was cutting someone's hair, and she stopped cutting the person's hair, came over, gave me a hug, and literally had tears in her eyes. And she's like, I can't believe all the nice things people were saying, and all the things, I can't believe you did that for me. What do I owe you? And I said, you don't owe me anything. Don't worry about it. I said, but again, if you know of anyone looking to buy or sell real estate, send them my way. And in the next 3 months, I had 3 referrals that I got from her, right? And would I have gotten those referrals before? Probably not. But the fact that we, and as a company, we did this for her, she'd feel very grateful for it. And again, law of reciprocity, she wanted to help and give back. And she does come across a lot of different people, but again, it wasn't in her, as Mike Rankin said, the reticular activator. It wasn't in her mind to send me business. She hears about it all the time, but now when real estate comes up, she thought of us, right? So just something to share with you. It was a $400 video, cost me. Elizabeth Hayes did the actual video. She did a great job. But again, you don't have to be that fancy to do it. Just do that, right? It's very important that you guys do them. So that's the community spotlight video. All right, let's keep going here. Home seller workshop, number 4. This is a big one. Home seller seminars. If you're not doing these, you definitely want to try these out and get these going. Home seller workshops, again, where you can actually serve and present one to many versus always doing these one-to-one appointments. So in my community, and the one that you're seeing on here right now is a community down in Florida that I decided, I moved into that community a couple years ago, wanted to meet more people. So I did a lunch and learn, and we did this home seller seminar. And it went out to 550 homes. And I said, wow, I'm gonna have all these people coming for lunch. I hope, hopefully we can fit them all in this big room here. And 8 people showed, right? 8 people signed up for it. So I said, all right, well, I'm still gonna do it. Did the seminar. 8 people came, and out of the 8 people, 2 were very interested and ended up selling. One right away, and the other one after that. But one was a $1.4 million listing, and the other one was a $900,000 buy side, right? So you just never know who's going to show up, but the people that show are quality. And the other people that were there, it wasn't that they weren't interested, they're just that ready. These are people that are kind of planted a seed for future sales that are coming up. So that's the home seller workshop, and that's a picture of the flyer that we use. And again, not only does it work in Florida, but it works here in Clifton Park, right in the Capital District. Sandy Serafini and Janet Wheeler did a great job doing it. They got it out there. They had, I think, maybe 4 people that showed, but out of the 4, someone listed, right? And they did a great job with it. So they sent it out as a every door direct mailer that they sent out on one side, the home seller workshop, and on the other side, they gave market stats of what was going on in Clifton Park and Boston Lake, and they had a call to action there to come to the event, and that's how they promoted it. And so they had success with that. And then I know Nancy Bobart had a home seller workshop, and again, very easy to do, and you can present them and do it. But here's the actual sheet. Here's the actual how to host a home seller seminar. First thing, you got to decide a date. From there, you select a location. You set up a form so that when you invite these people, they're going to click on a form and actually put their first name, phone number, email, and property address. And then you can see the rest of it that's on there. You're going to send the mailers out, send the flyers out, get people to come on when they come to the event. The people that gave you their address that they came to the event, you're going to print out an RPR report and a nice little folder for them. So when they come to the seminar, they have something to take away. So you're going to have your information in there. You're going to have your testimonials in there. You're going to have things that you do to market their property and why you're different. And then you're going to give them information on their property. So again, it works very well. At the end, it's all about the follow-up. Make sure you send a personal note to all the people that attended, and make sure you reach out to them and get feedback as to how they like the event. And again, if you had a conversation with them about possibly buying or selling, then you definitely want to do that. All right, geographic farming, direct mail still works, right? What's old is gold, as Mr. Hoffman says. And I will tell you that this is very, very important for those of you that want to get listings. My top agents that are using this are very consistent with doing these mailings, and they've been consistent though for years doing it. And a good friend of mine, Russell Rhodes out of Dallas, he's the one that really got me going on this about 12 years ago. He said, he goes, I don't care what market you're in. He goes, I will dominate any neighborhood within 12 months. And he said, if you don't commit to this for 12 months straight, don't start it at all. Like, in other words, don't send out 1 flyer, 2 flyers, you don't get any results from it, and you're like, the crap works, or it doesn't work, right? And you stop doing it. Got to make sure the message right, got to make sure the content's right, that you're sending out to them, but you also have to make sure that you stay consistent and send it out every month. So what can you send out? I'll give you guys a couple examples on here. RPR letters definitely goes without saying. I'm going to show you some examples of that. I have a buyer letter, EDDM, if you don't know what that is, every door direct mailing through the United States Post Office. Postcards, we use Quantum Digital. Some people like Prospects Plus, you can use them. But these are just some different ideas that we have on here. So here's the letter in the RPR letter. This one has gotten a ton of hits for us, works very, very well. Again, this went out to a farm area where we not only did this letter for everyone, but we also did a 12-page RPR letter. So yeah, it's a little work, right? You got to print out a letter, you got to do this, you got to put it in the mail, you got to hand dress the envelopes. But if you do, can you do 5 of those a day? Can you do 10 of those a day? That's a question I had for Mr. Justin Croft out in Dallas, Texas. He wanted to do more $1 million sales. And I said to Justin, I said, listen, Justin, I said, you get what you ask for. What are you doing now to attract $1 million sales? He goes, I'm not doing anything. I said, okay. go and pick a neighborhood that has $1 million homes, which he did. And I said, how many are there, right? We did a research, it was 800 homes. I said, okay, I want you to send this letter and I want you to do an individual RPR in 800 homes. And he, like, his eyes like bugged out. He's like, oh my God, that's a lot of work. I said, yeah, but I'm not telling you to do it all in one day. Can you do 10 a day? Can you do 13 a day? Whatever it came out to, we divided it out. And within 90 days, he was able to do that. And he stayed committed to it. He bought a printer. He had the paper. He got the ink. He did everything, the stamps. And he's very analytical. So he had it all in an Excel sheet, had it all, typed out exactly what the cost was. And I want to say it cost him about $3,600 or so to print it out, to mail it, and all that stuff. About $3,600 what it cost him over a 90-day period. But he sent that out and ended up getting 3 sales from it. I know he was like a 1.2. I think it was another buyer sale that he had, because I think they listed already with someone else and they bought. But the big one that I really remember was the video that he sent me when he closed 4 months later. 4 months after he sent the letter, he got a phone call from the seller and said, hey, I'm interviewing some agents. I got your letter here from a few months ago. Would you be interested in coming and take a look at my property? He said, yeah, absolutely. So he called me. We sat down. We went over his marketing plan, went over his listing presentation, gave him a couple different other things that we share with him with addressing luxury homes. He went and he got the listing, and he was so excited. And about 52 days later, went under contract and closed. And he called me. He called me and sent me a video. And on that video, he said, hey, I just closed and I just funded an escrow, $152,000 commission check. And he said it came from the RPR letters that we sent out. It was a $6 million listing that he had. And, so this works. And this is just one of many, many stories that I could share with you in different states too. But it definitely works here. It's worked for me. The admin will tell you here in the office, people have walked in with this letter in their hands and say, I want to talk to someone about listing my property, or is Willie here? I want to talk to him if it came from me. So it definitely works. But this is a great letter. But here's the problem. Most agents won't do the work. They won't do the push-ups to actually get this thing done, right? So if you have a neighborhood, maybe it's 100 people, maybe it's 200 people, get this in their hands at least once a year. Send this out to them. Take this letter, use it. You want to tweak it, that's fine. Use it just the way it is. Obviously, take my name off it and information. But again, use this and print out a 12-page RPR report on each of those homes. I guarantee you will get listings from it. Here's a every door direct mailing. Why are these nice? Well, they're nice because they're cheaper. They're only about 20 cents postage a piece. The good and bad news is that it's not addressed to anyone, so it looks more like just going out to everyone. The other bad news is that sometimes it's not first class, so it might not get delivered for a week or so. But the good news is that you can get to a lot of people. So Mandy and Trish, they live up in Delanson, up in Duanesburg area, and they've sent 7 of these mailings so far. I think they're doing them every other month. And they've sent 7 so far. The first mailing they sent out, they got 2 listings. The second one, they didn't get anything from it. The third one, they didn't get anything from it. The fourth one, they got 2 more listings from it. And then I think the 5th one, they got 1. And I don't know, I lost track. I was talking to Trish today about it. I know they have about 6 that they've already listed, sold, and pended. And then they have 3 or 4 other ones that are coming up here in the fall based on this letter. And they're now being known as, hey, here are the people that you need to talk to, right? And people are calling them, say, hey, I heard, you're the person to talk to, or you 2 gals are the people for us to talk to, because they're getting the mail, right? They're being known in their community as doing this. So they've increased their mailings and done some different mailings out there so far. But what are they sending them, right? They're giving them information about them. They're giving them client testimonial. They're giving them stats of the local market. And, they're putting the top 4 closed in that market. People love to see that, right? They're nosy. And then they're giving them a call to action. Looking to find out what your home is worth, give us a call or a text, or call us today, free no obligation home report. And they're getting the phone calls from that. Here's a postcard that Nikki and I did for a market update stat in our neighborhood in Florida. I just did a video. We uploaded it to YouTube. We had a QR code there. You can watch the YouTube video if you want. Again, you want to get known in your community, start educating, and that's how you'll attract, right? That's how you attract clients, is by educating. And this is one way to do it with postcards. If you have a buyer, this works very well as well, right? Like, people know what I'm talking about. I have a buyer letter, right? You send this letter out when you have a buyer. Make sure you have a buyer. make sure if you don't have a buyer, don't send it out. But if you have a buyer and you're looking for a certain community, like now I have a buyer that's looking at a certain condo development for one of our agents. So we're going to send a letter out to the whole condo development with a letter and see if we can get someone off market so we're not competing and my buyer doesn't lose out. So we mail these every door direct mailings, and these mailings, like the mailing that I showed you here just a minute ago with my newsletter, we send this through a company called itidirectmail.net. And if you could see, they put a live stamp, they put handwritten font, they put the return address. So it looks a lot better than a label or a sticker or anything like that, right? But that is itidirectmail.net. You can do that and they'll do your every door direct mailing to it. A great company, love working with them. All right, expire listings. This works very well. We're having some really good success down in Florida with this, where you actually send out the expired letter off MLS. You could circle it, says expired, and you could say, I could bring you a cash offer for your home. Lester actually did this out in Arizona with a lot of success. He does it with his coaching members out there as well. But I actually have some of our agents down in Florida just putting on there, please give me a call in regards to your home, and they're sending this out. Please give me a call in regards to your home. Now they're like curious, like why are they asking for me to call them? And they put their business card and they're just writing in a personal note and send it out. And they're getting people to call back and say, hey, I got your note. What can I help you with? But I saw your home expired here. I got a couple ideas that I think that you can, if you're still interested in selling, I have a couple ideas here that I think that you'd like to see to get top dollar for your home. Are you interested? And that's how they're getting in front of these people and getting in front of them to list their property. The one on the right is an actual letter from a buyer. So if you know a buyer out there and you know someone that, it's a good buyer, a lot of agents say, I don't like the, I have a buyer letter because then people think I'm lying and people, are getting that from too much and they think it's just a fraud or a scam. Then send the letter from the buyer, right? And this is what it looks like. And here's a cleaner copy of that, right? And it just say, hey, my name is Katie. My husband Chris and I would love to purchase a home in your community. We're looking for a home with an open floor plan, 3 to 4 bedrooms. Again, we're not talking price range. Keep it the more stuff you put in here, the less calls you're going to get. So keep it vague. But here they're looking at least 1,800 square foot or more, right? So that could be a big, wide range of homes. And then they start talking about, we've been looking for a home for a while in this criteria. There's only a handful of homes that are for sale. If you're considering making a move and your home fits our needs, we'd be willing to pay full market value of your property. We're cash buyers and flexible to closing date. If moving is something that you might consider, please contact Willie Miranda, Miranda Real Estate Group. He's our agent helping us with our home search or purchase. He knows that I reached out to you and we'd be happy to speak to you about showing us your property if you're interested in selling, right? And then gave my information. This letter works very well. I've used it a couple times. It works well, but the people in Arizona use this almost all the time with their buyers out there, and they're having a huge success with it. So there's a great one to be able to send out. I have a buyer letter. So this is the normal ones that you guys see usually. I've used this in the past, gotten a couple $1 million listings from this myself. So again, we recently sold this property. We have more buyers. If you're looking to move, let me know, right? And I'm showing them the houses that we just sold. On the right side, it's Rob and I marketing to our development, saying the same thing. We have a buyer. If you're interested, give us a call. So you guys get the concept, right? But these buyer letters definitely work. All right, here we go. The last one on here is paid online leads. This segment's going to be a little bit less because most of you guys know that there's companies that are out there that you can reach out to get leads from. And some are you pay for the leads, and then some they'll give you the leads, but then you have to give them a referral, right? 30-40% referral fee. So HomeLight is one of them. UpNest is another one. Fast Experts is another one. Realtor.com have tons of buyer leads, but they also have a seller program. Zillow seller leads, you can get leads from them. Fellow is something that's software. You have to go on and take a look at the demos for that, but that's if you have a big database, you can actually upload into this software program and they'll actually market your own database, your contact list, those type of things, right? Maybe you have thousands of leads that came in through the internet, they're able to go in there and look for seller leads for you, right? Giving them estimates on their homes, staying in contact with them on a regular basis. So that's a really great software to get seller leads. And then there's a company, listingleads.com and listingleads2close.com. One of them are for cash type buyers, where they actually have institutional buyers that will offer you cash on properties. So that expired, that the one person put on there, I can get a cash buyer for your home. They're just going back to these 7 institutional buyers and getting offers for their home, so they're getting in the door. But usually, what do we know about investors? They're coming in lower than if they just put it on the regular market, right? You have the difference between retail and wholesale. Retail is us listing it and getting top dollar for their home. Wholesale is they just want to get out of it and sell it as is. So we can go in there and say, here's a wholesale price. I can give you that quote right now. Or, let me come over and take a look at your property. You got a beautiful home. I think your best solution is to just list it with me, and we can do it on a retail level and use that as a backup down the road if it doesn't sell. But because of the way the market is and the condition of your home, I really think the retail option is going to work best for you, right? But it gets you in the door. That's basically what it does. So check out these websites. They're really good websites, and I definitely highly recommend those. All right. So solution, we do have a 90-day plan that I mentioned to you. And again, if you have questions, go ahead and put them in here. I do have one question on here. Do you have both business and personal Facebook pages, and do you post all info on both? Yeah, I do have both. And that's a great question that comes up now and then. Majority of my people are on my personal page. So I'm always posting stuff on that. But when it comes to the business page, I just try to keep that more business related, right? So it might be a listing, or it might be a testimonial, or it might be some type of call to action. Maybe I did a video on home buyer tip or home seller tip. I'll put them on both, but I'm not going to put a lot of personal stuff on the business page, right? And then on the business page, I haven't done this in a couple months, but some agents like to boost or market a certain area, and you can do that only on the business page. You can't do it on the personal page. So I hope that answered your question, yeah, definitely have both. It's very important to have both website, personal and business Facebook. All right, let me just switch gears here a little bit. I want to share a cleaner copy of this 90-day plan for you. I'm gonna pull it up right now and show you that. Here's the 90-day plan. You guys could take a picture of this once I put it up here on the screen. Just give me 1 second. Okay, hopefully you guys are gonna see this here. Using 2 screens here. Okay, here's the 90-day plan. Here's the marketing plan. And again, this is, if you follow this, it's guaranteed 90 days. You stick to it, you're gonna get results. And this is what you guys are looking for, right? Going into the summer months, you know how many agents right now falling asleep? A lot of agents are taking vacation, and 1 week turns into 2 weeks, and 2 weeks turns into a month. Next thing you know, they took the whole summer off and they didn't do anything in the real estate business, and they're wondering why they're not getting a paycheck in October, in November, in December, right? What you do today is what your paycheck going to be in 90 days, right? So this is why I want to go over this 90-day plan with you, because if you follow this, again, you will definitely get results from it. So first thing is your daily activity. This is your 90-day plan, your daily activity. This is from working with a lot of top team leaders and top agents. What are they doing? This is a minimum. This is a minimum. I will share some numbers of what some of these top producers are doing. But as a minimum, 5 2-minute phone calls a day. 5 2-minute phone calls a day. Calls to your leads, calls to your open house leads, call to your Zillow leads, people that said they wanted to buy and sell in the past, a minimum of 5 people. Typically, they would do 10 in a day, right? But the ones that when they're going through a softer market, they double down on their activities. And these people are doing 15 and 20 a day, right? So 5 a day is the minimum. And that's why I put it on here, because if I put 20, people would, just tune me right out. But 5 a day is so important. 5 video texts a day. And this could be, if you're not gonna make phone calls, some people don't like to make phone calls, then do 5 video texts out to people to get them on a phone call, right? Let them know, hey, Mark, I see here it's 5 years on your home. I had a great home value report that I wanted to share with you. when would be a good time? Shoot me a text back. Let me know when's a good time for me to reach out to you. I want to just go over this with you quickly. And just send them a video text right on your iPhone. Hopefully you guys have iPhones because they work great. I know there's Android users and all that. And if you can use and do it effectively, go ahead. For me, it just works a lot better on iPhones, and I can get those video texts out. But you want to get those out to people. If you're not going to do the phone calls, at least do the video text that goes out to them. 5 social media interactions, 5 likes, 5 comments. You have to be engaged with your database. Again, it's a money-making activity. You go on there, do your 5 engagements. You do your posts 3 times a day. And that was the other thing that I missed on the social media piece. How do we do this? Is I went from doing 1 to 2 posts a week to doing 3 posts a day. If you look back at my social media over the last month and a half, you'll see 3 posts a day. And it's a personal post, it's a business post, and then it's an inspirational or testimonial, right? I just keep doing that. I keep rotating that every day. For you and some of that, doing 1 is on here. Can you do 1 post a day? For those of you that are already doing that, go to 2 posts a day, right? Double down on what you're doing and make sure that you're getting on social media and you start building an engagement, an audience with valuable content and information. And again, ask yourself the question: are you attracting or are you repelling people from working with you, right? But these are personal testimonials, documenting your day. I just took a picture here with one of Ellis here in my office, our videographer. He just took a quick picture of me doing this webinar. So I'll be posting that later on today on what a great webinar that we had today, and posting that out there as a business post. And then 5 personal notes a day. You guys should be writing the personal notes out. It's different. It sets you apart, especially for new people that you meet, new leads that you meet. You want to set yourself apart from these online leads that you're getting. You have their mailing address, send them a personal note. It's great meeting you. It's great talking to you. Looking forward to working with you. Here's my business card. No other agent's doing that, right? But personal notes, 5 a day, Brian Buffini 101. You will definitely build up your database and you will definitely get activity by doing those. So that's your daily activity. What do you want to focus on weekly? We talked about emails, right? In our strategy. So emails, 1 week you do deal of the week, the next week you do restaurant of the week. Give a gift card. Some people do that where they'll give a $25 gift card out to a restaurant, and the first, a reply to enter to win for a $25 gift card, right? Get that engagement with your email list. Buyer and seller tips. It could be week 3. Market update, week 4. And then a bonus, put a community spotlight in there or community event, business spotlight, and put that in as a bonus. But these are things that you should be doing in your weekly emails every week. And add 1 new referral partner to your database every week. I gave you 10 of them. Make sure you go through for the next 10 weeks, right? Or the next 90 days, make sure you get at least 1 divorce attorney, 1 insurance agent, 1 lender, 1 junk removal person. Get them on your list and reach out to them, have coffee with them, meet with them, and make sure that you put them on your daily and weekly email list. All right, I say weekly email list, not daily. I'll correct myself on that. All right, monthly activities, 2 networking events. This is something that a lot of you, I think, want to do, but sometimes I talk to agents and they're like, yeah, I went to a networking event. I'm like, well, how many business cards did you pick? How many people you meet? Well, I don't know, a lot of people, I just hung out with Joe and Susie. Well, you already know Joe and Susie. Why are you hanging out with them? If you go to one of these events, the whole reason is for you to go meet people. So tell Joe and Susie, hey, I'm going to go meet 5 people, and then let's meet back here for, appetizer or whatever, your drink. But go out there and meet people so that you can get them into your database. And that's what the whole purpose of going to these networking events are. 1 EDDM or letter to more listings that you have out there, right? So every month you should be sending out an EDDM or some type of mailer, like I showed you with Trish and Mandy, that are going out to a community that you're farming, and just stay consistent with that same zip code or that same sub zip code. And keep going and don't give up. 12 months, stay solid with it for 12 months and you will get results from that. Quarterly activities, quarterly newsletter, like I showed you, my wife Sherry, and the one that we sent out, you want to send it out to your COI. So mail it to your COI and your geographic farm that you're working. People like that. They like to have something physical in the mail that they keep and that they have in front of them. It has shelf life, but do that every quarter to start as a minimum, right? So you can just do 1 mailing over the next 90 days. and then conduct a quarterly seminar, home seller workshop. And you can do these in person, or you can do them online as well, like we're doing right now on Zoom. And then annually do a couple client events, right? We do the pie event in November, and then pick a movie night, Easter event, brew pub. I didn't talk about the can for a cone. You can do an ice cream event. I've done that many times. Nikki's done it in Florida. Some people have done it here. I've done it here where we collect a canned good item for the food pantry and we give them a free ice cream cone. So you call these ice cream truck companies. They're more than welcome to come out. They're more than willing to come out, I should say, for a couple hours. And they may charge you a minimum to do it, but for $500 or $700, whatever it's going to cost you, you're going to be able to get in front of a lot of people, and you're going to be promoting your business to them by getting the community together and being known as the go-to realtor in that community. Okay, so that's the 90-day plan. I also promised you guys you might want to take a picture of the videos here. Here are all the video messagings if you want to do that for potential clients, for buyers. Here are all the topics for buyers. So take a picture of that. Sure, we'll be sending out a replay too, so you'll be able to get the replay of this, because I had a couple of people comment that they wanted a replay, and yes, there will be a replay of this. But again, the importance of getting pre-approved. Throw that in ChatGPT and say, hey, give me a Facebook post talking about the importance of getting pre-approved. Write you a whole Facebook post, copy it, make a couple tweaks, make it your voice, and then post it, get it done. For sellers, here's a bunch of topics for sellers, right? Preparing your home for sale, how to market your home effectively, the benefits of professional photography. I can't believe that agents still take pictures with their cell phones on beautiful homes. Can't believe it, still happening. But again, go ahead and put that in ChatGPT and see what it says. How to handle multiple offers, big one for us here in the Capital District. Right, so there's a lot of great things there for sellers that if you're posting, again, you're educating your clients, you're educating your database, you're educating people on social media. You're going to be perceived as the expert, the authority, and a lot of times a celebrity, because you're talking about it on video, you're on Facebook, you're talking about it, and the fact that you're on video, you must be a celebrity, right? That's what people look at you as the go-to or the authority in that topic. And then for both buyers and sellers, you could have some combos, right? But I just gave you 52 topics. So you have a topic every week that you could be posting on social media, and I prefer do a video, but if you can't, then do a post, right? So there they are right there. So I'll make sure you guys get copies of that. And if you want to get the replay of this, I'm going to put the replay on our Facebook website. And I didn't have this ready, but I'm just going to pull it up for you guys right now. We have a masterclass that we do every other Wednesday from 1 to 2 p.m. Brian and I do it. My brother Brian, we do it Facebook. Yesterday we did the 14 steps to a listing appointment, right? The 14 steps to actually follow, and the feedback was tremendous on it. We've been doing it now for a couple of years since COVID. But there is a resource that I'm going to share with you guys right now, and it's on Facebook. You can go there. It's free. We have, I don't know, 500 members on there now, real estate agents. Real Estate Blueprint Masterclass. There it is. Real Estate Blueprint Masterclass. And if you go to this website, you have to, obviously you don't have to be invited, but you do have to be let in. It's a private group. I'll actually go through and show you the replay of this, and also the other supplements that we had, the 90-day plan, and also the video. We'll actually have the download of that in the file. And this is the class that we did yesterday on why the 14-step listing process is so important in your business. And we talked about from being on time and knocking on the door to right to the closing and asking for the business. So we walk you through the whole process of listing presentation, because a lot of agents make mistakes of giving too much information too quick, of what information to give them that they shouldn't be giving them. They're going into talking about what their home is worth without even talking about their marketing plan. It's a train wreck, right? So following these steps is like a combination to a lock. If you follow it exactly, you're going to win the deal, right? So go to Real Estate Blueprint Masterclass on Facebook. Go ahead and join. We'll get you guys signed up today for that. All right. Let's see. Kim had a great question on here. How much money should I spend into marketing on a regular basis? That's a question that comes up a lot, Kim. It's a great question. Most agents think that they shouldn't spend any money on marketing. People are just going to call me because, you know, they know I'm in real estate, and when they're interested, they're going to call me. And that's true to some, but the average agent that sells 6 deals a year, that's true for. But the agents that really want to grow their business, they want to scale their business, especially in the beginning, at a minimum, you have to be spending at least 10% of whatever you're looking to make back into marketing. So if you want to make $100,000, it seems like that's the magic number, $100,000 that agents want to make, then you know that $10,000 over the course of a year is going to have to go back into marketing. So if you get a $10,000 commission check, right, so much goes to Uncle Sam, whatever that may be, 30% or whatever you put away for that. Another 10% should go into your marketing fund, and then the rest of the money you could spend and put into your personal account. But that 10% that you put into a marketing account should be spent within the next 30 days because you want that money working for you. And the goal would be to get to a 10 times or more return on that $1,000, right? So you want to make another 10 grand, another 20 grand on that money. So for instance, like when I was showing you Mandy and Trish, they spend about $450 every time they send that mailing out to, I don't know, 1,100 homes or whatever it comes out to. Like they said, and they've sent it out 7 times, right? So what's that, $3,500 that they've spent so far? But again, I don't have the exact number, but just kind of quick math, they probably did $50,000 or $60,000 of commissions from that $3,500 spent. Now, you know, they have splits and all that stuff that come to, you know, in expenses. But my point is that the return is there, and they would never have gotten that money if they didn't spend money on the marketing. So that's a great question. But I will tell you, when I first started in the business, my mentor was Craig Proctor when I first got started, and he showed me a lot about the business. And he said to me one day, and it made sense. He goes, Willie, if I came to your market and I created this huge website that's going to drive all these leads in your market, and I gave you all the leads, you don't have to pay anything, but would you pay me a 25% referral fee on the ones that you close? I said, yeah, absolutely. He goes, well, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be doing that in your market, but do it for yourself. And I said, what do you mean? He says, put 25% back in. So if you want to make $100,000, earmark 25% of every check that you make that goes back into marketing, and that would build your business quick. In my first year in real estate, when I joined this coaching program, I did 13 sales my first year. The second year, I did 53 sales. The third year, I did 77. The fourth year, 102. Double that, up over 200. And it was because I just kept putting 20 to 25% back into my business early on. Now, you know, now that number is a lot lower because of our database, and we're more of a broker now. But for years, I did close to 10, 12% was what my marketing budget was. All right, so that's a great question, Kim, one that comes up a lot. Okay, time blocking, another question that came up. When's the best time to make these calls? I don't know if there's really a best time to make these calls, because what happens is you say, well, I'm gonna, you know, so-and-so said to call in the morning at 8 o'clock. Well, people are sleeping at 8 o'clock, so I'm gonna wait until 9 to 11. And well, now they're working, so I'm gonna wait until maybe lunchtime. Well, they're on their lunch, they don't want to be bothered, I'll probably just have, you know, so I'll call them in the afternoon. Well, afternoon, they're probably back to work and I won't bother them. And then it's like, you know, well, I'll catch them when they're home. Well, they're probably at dinner, right? And then it's too late. Then you never call. You make 100 excuses why not. So the best time to call, I found, for a lot of agents is between 9 and 11 a.m. A lot of agents do well, just get it out of the way in the morning. You're the freshest. You're not on a lot of inspections or appointments usually at that time in the morning. Block those 2-hour time block in to do that 90-day plan. So that's a really a good time. If you can't do it in the morning because you have things that are up in the morning, then put that same block somewhere in the afternoon, but don't eliminate it. Like, don't just not do it. Those 2 hours a day should be a non-negotiable for you. Every day, at least putting 2 hours. And it's the 80-20 rule, right? Like if there's 50 hours in a really good agent, you know, agent that's doing 100,000 plus, you know, you're working 40, 50 hours a week, but let's just say 50 hours. If you take the 80-20 rule, right, 20% of that time in those 50 hours is 10 hours a week. Well, that's 2 hours a day for 5 days is your 10 hours. That's 20% of your time will get you 80% of your results. But if you don't put that 20% of your time, you don't block out that 2 hours to make lead calls, you're not going to get the 80% of results, right? So you want to definitely make sure that that you're putting time into those follow-up calls. All right, I think that's it. I think that's it for questions that I have on here, unless anyone has any more questions on here. The replay will be on, yes. A question just came up about the replay. The replay will definitely be up on Real Estate Blueprint Masterclass. We'll definitely be putting that up here probably sometime by the end of today, definitely by tomorrow. And we will have the resources with the 52 topics that you can send out, video topics, social media topics that you could do. We're also gonna have the 90-day plan on there as well. So, all right, that's it. Well, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time today. I really appreciate all that have came to our workshops in the past, and we'll have more as time goes on. And if there's a topic or something that you'd like to see in the future, please let me know. Just shoot me an email. You know how to get a hold of me. And I really appreciate your time today. So thank you guys very much, and we'll see you on the next masterclass. Take care.